Driving out of Knives Out, and what a delightful movie experience. Pure and simple, the movie is just fun. It is fast. It is fast as hell. That is what I give the most praise to Rian Johnson for, in writing and directing this script. Just, this whodunit does not slow down. It is fast-paced, and it's over 2 hours and 15 minutes, I think, but it just keeps on going and going and going, and it doesn't slow down. As a pure movie-going experience, Knives Out is honestly, it's one of the most original movies and just most fun movies I've seen in quite a long time. Immediate reaction is I love seeing Daniel Craig play a non-serious role and have fun with it with a giant southern drawl. And it's fun to see him play that part as the overconfident but still suave and charismatic detective. Just really, really cool. So he is absolutely fantastic as Benoit Blanc, or Monsieur Blanc as he likes to be called. And then you'll go through the rest of the cast. I mean, the cast is star-studded. I wrote this in my trailer reaction. I was just blown away with the cast. So you got Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, Don Johnson, Toni Collette, Lakeith Stanfield, Christopher Plummer you got in there. It's just nonstop. But what about Knives Out I really love is it took risks with the way it told a fairly, I don't want to say standard story, but it's a standard story vessel, right? Like a whodunit. Who is the person who is the murderer in this Clue game? Who is the murderer? But it reveals things in out of order places, and I think that's just the way it's done is really well done, and the quick cuts between the flashbacks, quote unquote, with the modern day. So basically someone telling another character the story, using flashbacks to show the story, and then cutting back to present time. Those transitions were crisp and they were clean, and they were just really, really well done. In particular, when Marta is telling the story to Ransom, in the restaurant, and she's telling the story and going through it or whatever, and just cuts back to 5 beers later with a cherry and a soda, and it's just incredibly well done. So just huge fan of that. Really, this movie is fantastic. I will say, out the get-go, one of the biggest surprises is how much Marta is a major character. They kind of played that, down a bit, I guess. But Ana de Armas, I believe that's pronouncing her name right. I don't remember her from a lot, which is probably a detriment on my part. But she's really good in the role. She's not outstanding. I think Daniel Craig, if you're going to talk about any of the performers in this, it's going to be Daniel Craig because he was just awesome. But it focuses a lot more on her than I think anyone anticipated. But she does a good job. She carries the movie well. All the other characters kind of play their parts really well. I think Jamie Lee Curtis is really funny as Linda. I think Michael Shannon, he's probably the one relative of the family that I probably could have done without and just be like, he was all right. He had a limp. He was wearing a boot. So that was okay. Don Johnson, I'm just been introduced to him because of Watchmen, but I enjoyed him quite a bit. Toni Collette, I think is a phenomenal actress. And again, her facial expressions and the way she acts with her facial expressions, much like in Hereditary, a completely different type of movie, let me tell you that. But again, she does it really, really well, and I think she's really funny in her role. Catherine Langford plays Meg, who is like the friend of Marta. She kind of is forced to do some things she doesn't like or whatever like that. Her mom, Toni Collette's character, Joni, is not a great person. So Meg kind of hit or miss. But I think everyone, for the most part, there are no bad performances by any means. I think everyone really kind of played their part well. Nothing bad stands out. Nobody seemed like they didn't belong, if you will. So just Knives Out, very, very good experience. The movie was shot really well. There are some shots that really stick out.
Head southwest on Newtown Road.
As you can tell, now I'm heading back to
in a quarter mile, turn right onto Old Newtown Road.
I think the best scene of the movie, the visual.
You are on the fastest route despite slower than usual traffic. You will arrive at 4:39 p.m.
Post-Thanksgiving traffic, love it. The one visual that really stuck out, that I really love, is when they're holding the memorial service the night at night, and Marta walks out, having to take a deep breath and to decompose and to decompress herself. And Daniel Craig is just chilling there in the shadows. Why he's at the memorial service, nobody knows. But he's just chilling there just because he wants to talk to her, he says. And he's in the dark, and the only thing you see, there's a shot where Marta is sitting on an armchair, and Daniel Craig's character, Mr. Blanc, is just completely in the dark, but you see the smoke from his cigar wisping in just a column of light in this back patio, and it is just absolutely awesome. Just a phenomenal visual shot there. So that really stuck out to me. I think another aspect that really stuck out, this is going to be spoilers for anybody who doesn't want to know the ending. So if you don't know the ending, you're going to want to fast forward a bit, or might just want to stop listening at this point on. Because my overall impression is that I really enjoyed it. The movie is really good. It is fast. It is awesome. It's a great movie going experience.
Turn right onto Old Newtown Road.
I'm going to turn right onto Old Newtown Road. And it's just a great movie. So everyone should go see it. Everyone should go see the movie. The second part I love is the way things come full circle writing-wise. The end of the movie, it's revealed the bad guy who is the orchestrator of this whole plot, or I should say the catalyst for this whole plot, Ransom. So fun fact, Chris Evans plays the bad guy. Love it. He tries to kill Marta, but it's with the retractable blade knife, which is part of this bullseye display that is really the forefront visual of this entire movie. Obviously, he's talking about
mile, turn right.
There being a donut. The way Blanc explains the whole entire plot that he can't solve as a detective, he needs to be able to solve it, and he can't. He's talking about how there's a donut, and he can't find the center of it, the circle. Well, obviously, the same visual for this movie is a circle of knives without a centerpiece in it. So it's basically a donut of knives standing behind a chair. So nice little piece of writing there tied all together. But another piece of writing,
Beaverbrook Road.
Another piece of writing that I really quite enjoyed was... as regaining my thought here. So Ransom tries to kill Marta with a retractable blade.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Swanson
Avenue. The retractable
Avenue.
blade is a direct correlation to a speech that was given by Christopher Plummer to Marta in the earlier portions of the movies. So Harlan, who is Christopher Plummer's character, he's the main guy who commits suicide, gets killed, commits suicide, as we find out. He gives this whole speech about how people don't know if it's a retractable blade or a sharp knife, and about something about life. I don't remember exactly what it is. I need to go back and rewatch it. But then at the ending of the movie, Ransom tries to kill Marta because in for a penny, in for a pound. He's in for a pound, tries to kill her. And guess what? He doesn't. It's a retractable blade. Marta survives. So great little piece of storytelling there, tying it all together, bringing it back, bookmarking the beginning and the end. So love that. I will say there was one clue that I immediately got and I knew was going to come back toward the movie. Something about, I believe Marta was telling the story, or somebody was telling the story in the beginning. It was in the initial interrogations, which are cut together fantastically. But it was in the initial interrogation, somebody mentioned how the dog started barking at night. And then when everyone's coming back for various police investigations...
Turn right onto Swanson Avenue, then turn left onto Federal Road.
The dog started barking only at Ransom because they don't know him, because Ransom doesn't come around a lot. So that was the only thing I knew, was that eventually Mr. Blanc was going to bring that into his final weaving and final tale of the story, which was quite good. I also enjoyed how Mr. Blanc kind of befriends Marta, and you can't tell if it's just him being incredibly stupid or if it's him being smart. And they circle it together nicely in the end when he says he's super smart, because Marta asks when did you know she had to do something with his death being Harlan, and he immediately just taps her shoe, which had blood on it, which was directly mentioned with the camera earlier in the movie. So just another nice piece there to show Mr. Blanc kind of knew what he was doing all along. So overall, Knives Out, really good. I strongly recommend the movie. I think if you want to go see a good murder whodunit, this is a good one to go see. Because guess what? They don't come much better than this. I probably, right now, I give the movie an A-. I enjoy the movie quite a bit. I think everyone would enjoy it. It's not going to win any awards or anything like that, even though I think for this screenplay, it's just incredibly well done, incredibly well put together on screen, so it's a fantastic adventure. And honestly, it's good for the whole family. There's really not too bad. There may be a couple curse words.
Continue on Federal Road for a half mile.
one rather not great bloody murder scene, but otherwise good for the family. I think I give Knives Out an A-. Strongly recommend it. Rian Johnson makes another good movie. Daniel Craig is absolutely phenomenal. He steals the show when he's on the screen. So there we go. A Stanko Sands quick drive time review of Knives Out, driving back from the theater. Back to New Rochelle.